Okay, so I have had my Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra right here for a little over a month, almost about a month and a half. And you know what? I realized that I never actually released my full review for this device right here. So I figured I'll go ahead and make this video and just quickly share what my experience has been like with the Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra right here since day one. Now, since the phone has been released, there has been a lot of hate towards it, but there's also been a lot of love towards it with certain people. It's back and forth. With me personally, if I'm being honest here, I've been enjoying my experience with the S26 Ultra right here. I really don't have any major complaints to give it. Is it the perfect phone? No, it is not the perfect phone, because yes, there are a few things that have kind of been an annoyance here and there. Like, for instance, in the app of Snapchat, yes, I still use Snapchat to talk to a few friends, but that's about it. But when in the app, using the back gesture just doesn't work the best all the time. It just doesn't go back the way that I want it to go back. It'll just kind of keep bringing up the keyboard or just doing something weird. It will not go back for me. And then there's another thing when in the Samsung keyboard, if I'm texting or whatever it is, this is probably going to be the last time I use the Samsung keyboard, since, it's been all part of my review period with this device right here. I will be switching over to the Google keyboard because I do not like the placement of the microphone for voice to text. It is down at the bottom left corner, or of course you can press and hold the power button to use voice to text as well, which is nice. But if the keyboard is not showing and you do that, it's going to end up bringing Gemini up. And then you'll notice that you're talking to Gemini rather than leaving your text message through voice to text. So then I have to go back, make sure that keyboard is showing, and then I can press and hold the power button and then do my voice to text like that. So just little things like that, nothing major or anything like that. Like I said, it's not the perfect phone, but it has definitely been a great experience for me personally. I would kind of say that this is like the everything device. I mean, it's always been like that every year when it comes to Samsung's Ultra devices. They're not the best at everything that they do, but they can literally do everything. So first off, the design of this device right here. I think it's a beautiful looking phone. I do like the change of the camera setup in the back. It definitely gives it more of a premium look. It's a nicer setup, and the phone overall just feels nice in the hands. And me personally, I do use the case on the daily, but when I do take this device off the case and I hold it in hand, I'm like, dang, okay, this feels good. I can actually see myself rocking this without a case, just to show off how beautiful it looks and just to get that good feel in the hand with the more rounded corners, the lighter weight as well. And it is a bit slimmer than last year's Galaxy S25 Ultra. So really loving the overall design of the S26 Ultra this year. And then when it comes to the display, I mean, beautiful looking display. I have no complaints with the display. I know there have been a lot of complaints when it comes to this display right here, because we do get that new privacy display feature, which turns off certain pixels when you turn it on, and you can only see it at a certain angle, or at pretty much straight on. Of course, if you turn the phone to the side or if you're off to the side, you're not going to be able to see it because of that privacy display, which actually does work really good. So when I use the privacy display on this device, I'm not using it 24/7. I'm not using it all day long. I have it set up to where it will only come into play when I am in certain apps. That's the only time it will turn on. And then once I exit out of those apps, it will turn off. And then I also have it set up for notifications. When notifications pop up, it'll throw on that privacy display just for the specific spot on the display where the notification is. And then once the notification goes away, it turns the privacy display off. So I really like this option because I only have to use it when I want to use it. It's not like a privacy screen, because I've seen this a lot. Like, well, you can just throw a privacy screen protector on there and you're good. Why do you need this feature? That's true, but with the privacy screen protector, your display is pretty much dim the entire time. You have no way of turning it off. Even if you brighten up the display, it's still going to be dimmer than without that privacy screen protector. So me personally, I have a regular tempered glass screen protector on my device, and I get to use that privacy display whenever I want. Turn it on when I want, turn it off when I want, or just have it turn on automatically. So in my opinion, I think it's a great feature. Now, like I said, I know there's a lot of people that were kind of complaining about it because of eye strain, or they feel that the display is not as sharp, is not as vibrant as before. Me personally, I can't really tell a difference. And I'm not saying those people are wrong. Hey, I get it. Not everybody's eyes are the same. But for me personally, honestly, the display looks great. I think it's a beautiful looking display. I still think it's a sharp looking display. I still think the colors look great. It still gets more than bright enough. Yeah, when the privacy display is on, it does kind of, dim down the screen a little bit. It kind of takes away from the vibrancy of the colors on the display. But that's just when that certain feature is on. Like I said, you don't have to have it on all the time. So when it comes to the display, I think it's a beautiful display. I really don't have any major complaints. The fingerprint sensor, the in-display fingerprint sensor has been working good every single time. For me, I don't have any problems with it, even with a tempered glass screen protector on this phone. And the haptics on this phone feel great as well. When typing, whether it's texting or writing a comment on a YouTube channel, whatever it is, or just scrolling through certain things, you can feel those haptics come into play. And they have a really nice, like a smooth feel to it, if that makes sense. But it feels really good. It's not like a cheap feeling. They're not cheap feeling haptics. They actually feel really good on this phone. It just makes the typing experience a lot better as well. And then performance. This is powered by the new Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 processor. And I mean, it has this thing running like a boss. I mean, this device is literally a powerhouse. I do everything on my phone. I've mentioned this plenty times before. I don't have a computer. I don't have a laptop. Literally everything that I do is done on my smartphone, and the Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra right here handles it great with no lags, no stuttering, no nothing. I mean, it's a smooth experience. I mean, you're getting that 120 hertz display as well, which of course is going to give you smooth scrolling. It's going to give you smooth gameplay. Yes, gaming on this device is great as well. Every time I do game on it, I don't have any problems, not even with overheating. The device, for the most part, does stay nice and cool. I wouldn't say cool, pretty much like room temperature. Sometimes if I'm gaming for a long period of time, it will warm up a little bit, but I mean, like I said in previous videos, it's nothing uncomfortable to where I can't hold the device. It's just a little warm, but it's not overheating. But I mean, overall performance has been great. I mean, I'm doing 4K video editing on here. I'm editing, my photos for, YouTube thumbnails, or just for my own, personal needs. Or I'm doing emails, phone calls, text messaging. I'm on social media, gaming, on the internet. I'm doing everything on this device right here. Like I said, performance has been great. I have no complaints with performance one bit. And then the S Pen, I know there's a lot of people who don't really care for the S Pen anymore. And there's still that group of people that do. And there's still that group of people like me that miss the Bluetooth features. So it's kind of a bummer that Samsung still did not bring back the Bluetooth features for the S Pen right here. They ended up taking it away last year. It's still not here this year. I mean, in my opinion, I think the Bluetooth capabilities with the S Pen right here were great, because you were able to set up the phone if you have like maybe a family outing or something, or you're having a big family gathering and you want to take a picture of the whole family without anybody being left out. You don't want to have to worry about setting a timer on the camera, pressing it and then running back. Or if you're too far, it's not going to see, because we do have that feature where you hold out your hand and the camera will see that, and then it'll start counting down a timer. Or you can say, say cheese, or, you have different voice commands as well. But sometimes they don't always work if you're too far away. At least with the S Pen Bluetooth feature, you're able to stand far back, have the phone set up, and just take pictures with the press of the button here on the S Pen. So it's kind of a bummer that they still did not bring that back. Hopefully next year they will bring it back, because I did see a rumor that Samsung is going to be bringing an S27 Pro, which is going to basically be like the Ultra, but without an S Pen. So hopefully with the Ultra next year, maybe they'll bring back that feature. Who knows? I don't know. Fingers crossed. But this S Pen definitely comes in handy for me personally. Like I said, I know there's a lot of people who don't really care for it anymore, but actually use this a lot. Not just for signing documents, but also for editing photos and editing my videos, and sometimes just scrolling through the phone. I actually personally use this S Pen a lot. But there has been one annoyance with it. I hate that I actually have to pay attention when putting it back into my device because of the way they designed it right here on the clicker on the end. You have to intentionally put it with the button facing up just for it to sit flush. Because if you end up doing it the opposite way, if I have it turned upside down with the button facing down, then the other side of that S Pen is kind of popping out. It's not flush with the bottom of the device. So I don't know how I feel about this design, to be honest. There have been times where, I'm not paying attention. I just put it in there. And then I notice, like with my pinky or something, the S Pen is just kind of sticking out. And then there could be ways like that where you will accidentally, press on it and it'll just fall out without you knowing. So hopefully next year Samsung will change that and just kind of bring it in a little bit and just make it flat again. So it wouldn't matter which way we put the S Pen in the device. Okay, now battery life. Now I did already do a full dedicated, all day battery drain test with this phone right here, but still to this day, I'm easily getting a full day of usage from early in the morning to late at night. I don't have to worry about throwing this device on the charger at all. I don't even think about it. I just, once it gets later into the night, I'll look and, I'll say that I'll have maybe 15, 20% battery life left, depending on how heavily I use the phone that day. And I'll be like, okay, I'll throw it on the charger overnight. And it's nice that Samsung finally gave us faster charging speeds as well. So for whatever reason, if I forget to charge overnight and I use the phone a little bit in the morning when I wake up and the battery's starting to get kind of low, at least I can quickly top off to get through the rest of my day. Now, is it as fast as something like the OnePlus 15 that I have also used, which, has that 80 watt, super fast, ultra super VOOC charging? No, it is not, but we are taking baby steps. Samsung has finally given us faster charging speeds for this device. And in my opinion, it does charge up more than fast enough. I mean, I don't really see myself needing my phone to go from 0 to 100% in 10, 15 minutes anyways, but it's nice to get that quick top off when I need it. Now, am I hoping for even faster charging next year? Yeah, who doesn't want faster charging? So we'll see what Samsung does with that. But like I said, as far as battery life, easily one day, maybe a day and a half, like I said, depending if I'm using my phone heavily the first day or lightly. If I'm using it more lightly, then I will be able to push the battery even further. But again, next year, hopefully we even get a bigger battery size as well, because I mean, we've had this 5,000 milliamp battery for I don't know how long already. It's been years already. And it's like Samsung does not want to take that risk of putting a bigger battery on their phone. I know they've been scared since whatever happened with the Note 7, but that was years ago. I'm sure now, years later, they had to have figured something out, right? I mean, everybody else has. They're able to put these big batteries in their phone. Why can't Samsung do it? So hopefully next year, maybe like a 5,500 milliamp hour battery, or even a 6,000 milliamp hour battery, just to kind of test the waters on a bigger battery in their device. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see with that. But overall, I'm not really disappointed with battery life either way. And then aside from, the faster charging speeds wired, we're also getting faster wireless charging as well, which is the one that I actually use overnight. And, me personally, I've never been one to use like a wireless magnetic charger on my device, or at MagSafe as everybody calls it. I never really cared for that. I've always been, even now, I prefer wired charging over wireless charging or MagSafe charging or whatever. But lately at night, I've been using Samsung's wireless magnetic charger, just slapping it on the phone, setting it right there to the side. Boom, that's it. And by the morning, it's good. But of course, if I need a even faster top off, then I will use wired charging. But it's nice that they also brought faster charging when it does come to wireless charging or MagSafe charging, whatever you want to call it. Now, let me quickly talk about cameras here. Overall, I think the cameras do more than good enough at getting the job done. I'm able to take great photos, whether it be during the day, during the night, inside. I'm able to capture some great shots, whether I'm using the main lens, the telephoto lens, both telephoto lenses, or even the ultra wide angle lens, and even that selfie lens as well. Now, are the cameras the best cameras out there on a smartphone? I don't know, probably not, but they still get the job done. Like I said, I'm able to capture some great shots that are more than good enough for me, more than good enough to be able to share on social media or share with family and friends. I don't have any huge major complaints. Now, one thing that is kind of an annoyance sometimes, which I still haven't figured out how to turn it off, there's times where I want to use the 5x telephoto lens, right? And at first, when I first go into that 5x telephoto lens and zoom in at 5x, the picture looks great. It looks like I'm going to capture a great photo. But before I press the shutter button, it's like, boom, it takes me back to the 3x telephoto lens. It's still 5x zoom, but it's like it's switched back to the 3x photo lens, and now the photo looks a bit grainy, not as sharp. And I'm not sure why it does that. It doesn't happen all the time, but it does happen every now and then. And when I do want to capture that good shot, it's like, what the heck? And I'm over here messing with the lenses, going back to the main lens and the 5x telephoto lens, trying to get the perfect, distance away so it doesn't do that. And yes, sometimes it's just an annoyance. But aside from that, still able to capture some great photos with the cameras on this phone, and even video as well. Video is great, nice and smooth during the day. Colors look great, nice sharp video. Stabilization is great. And in the nighttime, same thing. I mean, we're getting pretty decent video at night, and it's kind of like any smartphone that I've tested in the night. You know, there are some times if there's too much movement, video could be a bit shaky, a bit grainy, but with less movement and maybe slowly panning around, or if you're just taking a still video, then video can actually look pretty good at night. Now we do have that new feature, the horizontal lock. So you're getting like extra steady mode on this device right here. So say you're like maybe recording your dog running around and you're shaking, you know, side to side, maybe turning your phone upside down by accident or whatever it is, that horizontal lock is going to keep everything level and super steady. So it's not recording at 4K, but it's still higher than 1080p, and you're still getting a good quality video using this feature when it does come to video. So that horizontal lock is actually a pretty cool feature when it comes to the cameras on the S26 Ultra. Now, when it comes to watching content on this beautiful display, of course, you're gonna want it to sound good as well if you're not using any type of earbuds. And I will say that the speakers on the S26 Ultra actually sound nice. They get loud, they get a nice full sound, but still sounds nice and clean. So the speakers, a good stereo setup, because yes, we do get speaker on the bottom, speaker on the top. So it is giving you that stereo-like experience when it comes to the sound. Really, really nice. And then when it comes to AI features, I mean, this phone is jam-packed. Like I said, this is the everything phone. Not only can it do everything, but it has tons of AI features as well. And Samsung has just come so far when it comes to AI. They probably have to be the best right now in the market when it comes to AI features on your smartphone. Now, do I personally use them all? No, I don't. There's just too many to go through. The only AI features that I personally use would probably be with the photo assist to edit, you know, certain photos on my device. It does a great job at erasing stuff out of your photo and replacing it with something else to where it almost looks like you can't even tell you used AI to edit that photo. It does a great job. And then sometimes I will use the call assist. I'm not sure if that's part of the AI features or not, but the call assist, if somebody's calling me, I don't recognize the number, I'll use that call assist where it will talk to them for me to figure out who they are. And then I can see in the text what's going on, what they're saying back. And if it looks like, I'll be able to see what they say. And if I do recognize who it is or whatever, then I'll go ahead and answer it myself. Or I can have the AI keep talking to them for me. And even in the phone calls, there's live translations as well, which I kind of turned on by accident one time. And it was like saying everything in Spanish to the other person, or was it to me? I can't really remember, but it does it live, which is actually really, really cool. So for people that do need that live translation, if they're talking to someone else who doesn't speak their language, that feature can actually really come in handy. But there's tons of AI features on here. And if you have this device for yourself, I mean, you can go through all of them and then you let me know what you think about all of the AI features, but definitely a lot going on here. But overall, I mean, the S26 Ultra right here has been great. Like I said, it's been handling everything that I throw at it. Like I said, there's just a few things that are kind of annoyances here and there that can be worked on, maybe with an update or something. But overall, definitely a great, powerful device. I mean, this thing's a beast right here. But what do y'all think? Let me know down in the comment sections below. Do you have an S26 Ultra for yourself? How has it been treating you? How has it been holding up for you? Or have you been thinking about getting this device? Let me know. Thank you all so very much for watching. If you did like this video and find it helpful, make sure to give it a huge thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss out on any other future videos to come. Thanks for watching. This is Josh Quinones. I will see you on the next one. Peace.